Okay, everybody, welcome back to Vegas Tips and Tricks Weekly. And over the last couple of years, we've really tilted this channel towards advice to people who are going to Vegas for the first time in some time, or potentially for the first time thinking about how they can get the most out of Las Vegas. And a few weeks ago, maybe months ago at this point, I asked for some suggestions about how to do some new content on this channel. And one of the things that someone mentioned, I think maybe it was Frontiersman, I'm not really sure, was hey, why don't you do a show focused on sort of advanced Vegas tips and tricks? And the more I've thought about that over the last month or so, the more I've thought that's a really good idea. So I think we're going to push the channel in that direction, at least for a few weeks. But I thought maybe we would try to catch everybody up on what we've done so far. So if this is the first time you've seen Vegas Tips and Tricks, and if it is, please consider liking this channel, subscribing to this channel. It really helps us out a lot. We do this a couple of times a week, provide kind of a short form video on Wednesdays, and then a longer program on Saturday. We go to Vegas usually a couple of times a year, and we provide some good information from that as well. Okay, so today I thought I would start out by trying to kind of sum everything up. I have done maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 dozen videos about going to Las Vegas and what you need to do, what you need to think about, and the way you need to approach things. So, you think we can wrap all this up in 15 minutes so we can get on to grad school? Well, let's find out. Okay, if you think about going to Vegas, think about going in the spring or fall because the summertime is excessively warm. Certainly late May to late August, it can be ridiculously hot. It's fine. Yeah, you can hang out by the pool. Not always the big win. And in the winter months, say mid to late November, December, January, early February, it's actually chilly. You're not going to hang out by the pool. You're going to need a jacket at least at night and maybe beyond that. If you want to get the best deals about going to Vegas, you're going to want to stay from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday nights. The weekends tend to be really busy because a lot of people will come in from California, Arizona, whatever, and it really jacks up the prices, surprisingly, because a lot of business locations, you will actually find out the weekends are cheaper, not so much in Vegas. So look at Sunday through Thursday or Friday. That's going to be your best bet there. That being said, if you're going to fly into Las Vegas, and most people probably will, unless they live 3 or 4 hours away, and then your best bets are going to be to fly in on, say, Tuesday or Wednesday, fly out the same days, or maybe Saturday. And that's not necessarily going to overlap directly with the cheapest room rates, but definitely worth checking out. I just try to avoid any sort of conventions or major events, and that's going to bring your hotel room rates way, way down. Okay, once you get to Vegas, a lot of people ask about what to do once you get to the airport, how to get great hotel transportation. Typically, you have a lot of options, but typically people think about either taxis or rideshare. And I would check out both. If it's a particularly busy time that you're visiting Las Vegas, there may be surge pricing on the Uber and Lyft apps. So look at those because you can very easily compare the prices there to the sort of flat rate pricing to most any Las Vegas hotel on the Strip. And that's a thing that's happened just over the last few years, but it's definitely worth checking out. So, I mean, if there's ridiculous surge pricing that's going to cost you $30 to go to Tropicana, you can do that in a taxi for 21 bucks, for God's sake. The taxi lines look incredibly long. They move very fast, so do not be intimidated by that. It is a little bit of a hike over to the rideshare area. It's a little bit disorganized, but if things are not really busy, you can probably still save 30-40% over the cost of a taxi. Where should you stay? Very simply, mid strip, particularly if you've not stayed before. You're going to be as close as you can be to Flamingo Avenue and Las Vegas Boulevard, the better. I mean, sort of the classic kind of best place to stay. If money is no object, Caesars, Bellagio, Cromwell. If it is, stay over to Horseshoe, what used to be Bally's. You can be right in the middle of everything. That's where you want to be. Now, how long you should stay in Vegas, that kind of just depends on how much money you have, what you want to do. For a first time visitor, I would recommend, 3, 4, 5 days tops, particularly if you don't decide you're not really into it. Also, 5 days is a bit much if you start losing a lot of money. And that brings us back to gambling. The thing about gambling in Las Vegas is if you take advantage of it, if you make sure that the casino you're gambling at knows what you're doing, you can really get a lot of comps back. And particularly if you want to return back to Las Vegas in 6 months or a year or something, you can get some really good comps that way. So make sure if you do decide to play, you concentrate your play in a casino, and that you make sure that you use your Players Club card at all times. If you do that over a couple of days, you might be surprised the offers you get coming back. Also, you can check with the Players Club booth or a host on call, and check before you check out if your play actually warrants some sort of a hotel discount or any kind of comps. So definitely does not hurt to charge any sort of thing that you buy in the casino, gift shop, whatever, to your room. You can always pay them off, but it's potentially an opportunity to earn comps and also use comps. So keep that in mind. Once you get to your hotel, I mean, many people talk about using the $20 trick. You can do that, obviously. You can obviously ask the desk clerk if there's any sort of upgrades available, sort of flash a gratuity. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If it's really, really busy when you arrive, it probably isn't going to work. If it's not very busy when you arrive, there's a chance that just being nice, smiling, and looking cute could work just as well. But certainly, if you get an upgrade, make sure you tip the desk clerk, because they're working for minimal wages in Las Vegas. The thing about Las Vegas is there are literally dozens of great hotels and a lot of things you can do when you're there. Make sure you do some research before you arrive. Look and see if there are activities you want to do, if there are restaurants you want to visit, if there are shows you want to see. And if that means a lot to you, then it's best to make those reservations in advance, because you can't be 100% sure that when you arrive, all of those options are going to still be available to you. So if, again, anything that's really important to you, make sure that you make those reservations in advance. That being said, I like to leave just as much sort of free time, random time as possible in Las Vegas. I don't like to plan anything more than I need to. And you'd be surprised. There's a lot of restaurants you can check out. I particularly like checking out some of the nicer restaurants around lunchtime or during happy hours. You'll find some really great specials there. If you're a drinker, and hey, I certainly am, in addition to free drinks that you can get, the easiest way to do that is to play some video poker, keno, slots at one of the casino bars and tip regularly. But regardless, you also can check out a number of the convenience stores on the Strip, Walgreens, CVS, ABC store, and get a much better deal on alcohol than you can get anywhere else. If you get a hotel room that has like a fridge, that's great. Not just for preserving your beer, but also water or any kind of other things you might pick up along the way. I did mention that, yeah, you want to stay center strip, but you also want to check out some of the casinos, opportunities downtown. downtown is a great place and a great value, generally speaking. So if you're there even 3 nights, I would say it's definitely worth going downtown and checking out the Fremont Street Experience, the light show, the bands, everything there. The food there is cheaper. The gambling there is better. And if you choose to stay there, and I wouldn't probably recommend that on your first trip unless you know, that's the big deal. But overall, a very good deal. So yeah, so there you go. That's how you get there. That's how you get to your hotel. That's how you choose a hotel. It's what you do as far as gambling, eating, drinking, whatever. So, over the next week or two, we're going to be actually expanding on this and talking about, I guess you would say, sort of more advanced Vegas tips and tricks, grad school, if you will. And so I would ask anybody, any regular viewer of the channel, or anyone that just happened to stumble on it over the last week or two, let me know what sort of things you'd like me to cover. We can obviously talk about very specific things. We can say, okay, go to Stage Door Casino and you can get dollar Bud Lights or whatever. But we can also talk in sort of broader terms as well about better ways to spend your time in Las Vegas, better ways to gamble in Las Vegas. Um, that's what we're looking to do here. And I thought about trying to cover that tonight, and I was going to start covering that tonight, but I actually thought maybe we could just go ahead and like fill in all the early gaps. If I missed any of those, let me know. And I guess I didn't really talk about pools. Pools open March through October. If you're staying at the hotel, that's the way to go. Get there early. Throw a towel on a lounger. Generally, pools and clubs have like these sort of deals, or you can like reserve them in advance and get all sorts of stuff. But I'm not sure it's really worth it. It can be, but not necessarily. If you're looking to do shows, again, just go ahead and pay the fare, unless you just want to go to a show. And then when you get there, you can check out some of the half price ticket booths and see what might be available. Food wise, again, if you want to eat at a particular restaurant, I would go ahead and recommend that you make that reservation in advance. There are a lot of really great places to eat in Vegas, and a lot of great celebrity restaurants as well. So if you want to eat at any particular place, do that in advance. If not, then play it by ear. You might be surprised how easy it is to get into one of these top tier restaurants, particularly midweek. And again, I think you'll have a great time there. Thing I always tell people about Las Vegas is don't overplan. And so that's, I guess, maybe my lesson in this sort of pre-grad school sort of show is, get a great place to stay, get a good deal for yourself, make sure you have a bankroll that can support the gambling you want to do. Make sure that you make reservations for anything you really have to see, and then just flow with it. Just let it go, because there's so much to do. And if you just enjoy that experience, and I think it's more likely when you do that you'll be back again. And hopefully you'll be back again next week when we actually jump in to Vegas Tips and Tricks Grad School. And hopefully you'll be back midweek as well when we do our usual Wednesday show, our Vegas Tips and Tricks show. We enjoy chatting with you all and sharing our thoughts with you, and I hope that you enjoy what we share here on the channel. So, hey, have a great, lucky, healthy week. We'll see you all again real soon. Bye-bye.